Ready? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Tavaya Avatara Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Beara Patita Pavana Hetu Tavaya Avatara Mosama Patita Prabhu Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Boro Dukhi Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai Doya Koro Sitapati Svarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunata Bhakta Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanata Svarup Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narottama Dasa Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. In translation, can anybody read?
My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? 2. Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls. But I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhus, husband of Sita, you are so kind, please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. O Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O 6 Goswamis of Goswamis, O Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master. Narottam Das also prays for your mercy. O Srinivas Acharya, successor of the 6 Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti.
Nice song. So we will read now from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Das Feste. Nur machen zu, aber nur umgehen. Und das ist ein bisschen. Ja, danke. So we have Shivindavan Dham here, reading from Transcendental Diary. The year is 1976, September 1976. Shivindavan Dham. Since being instructed by Srila Prabhupada to begin a bullock cart traveling Sankirtan party, which Maharaj? Lokanath Maharaj and his men have been busy here in Vrindavan acquiring all the materials they need. Turiya Das, the Vrindavan temple head pujari, gave them his own 12-inch brass Gaurnitai deities. They have obtained a trunk full of Prabhupada's books in Hindi, as well as various types of food, supplies, and pots and woks to cook in. Lokanath Maharaj has had flyer printed for distribution to the villages. It introduces the party, explains its purpose, and informs the reader that they are headed across the country to reach Mayapur by the next Gaur Purnima. This is 1,700 kilometers from Vrindavan to Mayapur. So, to by foot with a bullock cart. It'll probably take a couple of months. Huh? Of course, they're also going through villages. They're not going through main autobahn. Today was the appointment day of their departure from Vrindavan, and before setting off, they performed a puja to inaugurate the party. They held a kirtan and broke a coconut. And then the whole group of about 10 men gathered in Srila Prabhupada's room at 4:30 p.m. The coconut is being broken. Many devotees during before the Rath Yatra, when devotees be offering this fire and coconut, and they break it down. Many devotees are taking it as a prasadam, but it's actually not a prasadam. Just for your information, if anybody is watching this, this coconut is broken because this is symbolic, or not so symbolic. Representing that anything gets wrong for this Rath Yatra Umzug, better to go into this coconut. All the wrong things should go into coconut, and you break the coconut, meaning you break all the wrong things which can go. So this is what they did here. They broke the coconut so the Padayatra can peacefully go. Nowadays, of course, in India we have a car puja and motorcycle puja, which is I saw in Mayapur last year. Pujari is doing, and he's looking at me like, kind of, I have to. And he was not happy at all. He did a small, wasn't even like a big motorcycle. Royal Enfield. You can take a motorcycle. It's one of those. Huh? Yeah, some little thingies, Vespa, whatever I can call this thing. And he's doing puja. I remember I was standing outside Pujari, look at me like, oh my, sorry. I feel so sorry about myself. So this is not, but Kali Yuga, I guess this is, somehow or other people have to give donations to the temple, so this is the way somehow to give donation. But this is the real puja actually, because this cart is not going to travel around to, earn money or whatever. This cart is actually transcendental cart, pulling Gornitai, distributing Krishna consciousness. So for this, they want to do puja to actually break all the obstacles. So now they sat in Prabhupada's room, 4:30 p.m. evening. They're mostly young Indian men, like here we have in the audience, including Lokanath's cousin Gora Sundar, Atma Tattva, Abhaya Shraya, Siddhartha, and Krishna Nama Prabhus. The small number of Westerners include Hunkara and Chaturmurti Prabhu from Colombia and Brazil, as well as a Ravi Prabhu from England. Lokanath Maharaj offered Srila Prabhupada a plate of broken coconut, who graciously popped a small piece in his mouth. I take it back. Wow, I because devotees were taking it, then after some time everyone says, don't eat this, but Prabhupada ate.
Is it the same coconut broken?
Broken coconut.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I take my words back. Prabhupada is ultimate authority. Pramana, there's three main pramanas, more pramanas, but three in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We accept three pramanas, three evidences, three proofs that things are valid. And one of the proof is inductive knowledge, Anuman. By induction, we conclude that this is true. Like when we see the light on the window, that means the sun has come out. That this is inductive knowledge. Then we have Anuman, Pratyaksha, direct perception. We see it directly. I see Prabhupada there. I see him. So it's a truth by my direct perception. And of course, they said these two, although they are valid, in many cases they could also be deceiving. Maybe somebody can just with a flashlight create an illusion, like in films. They create an illusion that it's light outside, but it's actually dark. So these are not like 100% correct, And also direct perception also can also make an illusion. We think, especially in the evening, we go, somewhere in the dark, and you think, oh, there's something there. Especially in the forest. I always, whenever we walk in the evening forest, you see a creature there, but actually when you walk, this is just a log. But then you thought, oh, I saw a deer, but actually it wasn't deer. So it's also defective. But Shabda is not defective. Shabda means accepting the Shastra. And Shabda also, there's a Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam, and there's a walking Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is a walking Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada ate the coconut. So it's okay to eat the coconut. I read one more time. Lokanath Maharaj offered Srila Prabhupada a plate of broken coconut, who graciously popped a small piece in his mouth, and they gave one to each of the men. So, as Maha Prasadam. Prabhupada glorified the simple village life and told Lokanath Maharaj that Gandhi had the right idea, although he did not know how to implement it. Gandhi had thought that by providing modern amenities such as flushing toilet system, people would be induced to remain in the villages. In India, they call it Western toilet. Western toilet. Therefore, it failed because they had no engagement. So why they should remain in the village? There's so many attraction in the city, and they get money. The factory valas, they're inviting, come here, you shall get 20 rupees per day. Why shall you remain in the village? So Prabhupada continued, if you can organize in the villages, they're interested in chanting Hare Krishna mantra and getting nice prasadam, then one must have some attachment. In the city, there are so many artificial attachments. So on what ground they will remain in the village? Mind, always remember this. Unless you have got some attachment, there is no possibility. Gandhi's program was very nice. Village organized so that they may not come to the city and help the capitalists remain satisfied in the village. But where is that satisfaction? That is failure. So Prabhupada was very stern here. Village means you are actually really doing, and also village means God's land. In the village you actually really understand God's creation. You see the rain, you cannot do anything about it. You here when it's raining, you then think, it's a bad weather. But in the village, the rain means something else. Rain means, crops, I can actually water the crops. And, so it's a village has a different, although the same elements, village is a different perception of nature and understanding God much better. Appreciating that there's something higher than me. I cannot stop the rain. I cannot stop the sun. Or mice, for example. We were 2-3 years ago. We were walking, my wife's parents, and in the field, there's a big field of all kinds of things they're growing. And it was full of mice. Like hundreds of little guys. That's very cute, but hundreds of mice, And you cannot do anything about it. You can kill one, but there's like thousands around, they're all digging holes in the field. And then they said, this is how it is. Sometimes the year is like this, there are lots of mice. And the reason is because it did not rain on time. When it rains on time, then it floods all these holes when they are there and they cannot operate freely. So because of lack of rain, the mice came. So you can see how Krishna arranges in such a way. You cannot do, with all your technology, you cannot do anything about it. So you can appreciate God's creation or God's, will much, much better. This is number one. And number two, Prabhupada did not want devotees to depend on material amenities in sense. He did not want, as Prabhupada says here, to satisfy the capitalists. Where is it? To help, Prabhupada said, to help the capitalists. Because capitalists, they have only one goal, to make money of you. The more they have people, the more money they will make. This is as simple as that. So therefore, the purpose of capitalism is to convince you to buy certain things because to make money for them. That's all. And they need workers to achieve this. So they're sitting there, and they're thinking, how can I make money? How about this? For this, I need so many people, I need to convince everybody. This is a wonderful thing. Oh, you don't have it yet? Wonderful car, Sumo, Tata, you have to buy it. Of course, Sumo, Tata is not even that, but new cars, Mercedes. What do you need Mercedes in India for? For what? To show off, Sumo, Tata is good enough, Because if you want to transport your 22-member family, Tata Sumo is the best, Put everybody inside and drive, But then you want a Mercedes, I saw when I was in Delhi this last year. Audi, all this. What do you need Audi in India? Only to show off, that's all. And then you need this, and then you need special this, and there's so many wonderful things. Which, for example, I know I came to India first time 1992. And there was nothing, no advertisement, zero. There was no this big sheet. Maybe there was something, but no, not really. Maybe in Delhi, one or two. With very badly painted, terribly painted. No advertising, no cars. There was only ambassador car. Ambassador? Ambassador car in like this road, Delhi to Agra, this main road. There was only one road with two, one line. Like nowadays we have a whole autobahn and overpass, underpass, whatever passes, Then not one, and then only you can see every 10 minutes some ambassador passes. And maybe Maruti. Maruti, I think, was still there. The small Maruti.
Yes.
And that was it, There was no big thing. Then Tata came a little later. And then you go to Vrindavan, there was no shops, no advertisements, no big billboards, nothing. There was not even sign to Vrindavan, actually. There was not even, you have to kind of know where to turn left in Chatikara Road. And then you go from, nowadays they have this Vaishnava, Ma Vaishnava Devi, what is the name? Vaishnava Devi, this huge Durga sitting on a tiger, I think like at least 30 meters, I don't know how tall it is, huge. You can see it when you enter Vrindavan. And then you just enter Vrindavan, there's nothing, just the forest left, forest right, and the road, half dust, half asphalt, And then you just go there 5 kilometers, no sign, anything, no shops, no anything. And then there was ISKCON temple. And then there was nothing also, another 1 kilometer, and then slowly there's a Loi Bazaar coming. Beginning of the Loi Bazaar. Because the road to Banki Bihari there on the left, and this Sabji market right now. There was nothing. No advertisement, no nothing. And nowadays you have buy condo, buy apartment, only 50 crores for square meters, very cheap. All these huge advertisements and huge wonderful things and hotels and parking lot in Vrindavan. Anyway, so this is the capitalism, and they want you to buy things because they make money. So they make advertisements. The beautiful girl comes and she eats cornflakes and she says, "Oh, very tasty." And then you think, "Wow, if I eat cornflakes, I will get this beautiful girl. Let me eat cornflakes." This is such a cheating. I saw one advertisement in China. Tractor. What kind of advertisement would you do for a tractor? Some guy drive. No, 3 beautiful girls in bikinis, standing in front of a tractor. He says, "If you buy this tractor, you will be very happy." And people will, "Oh, I will also, maybe if I buy this tractor, maybe I'll get one of these at least." No, not 3, but 1. This is capitalism. So Prabhupada wanted the devotees not to help capitalists. So therefore Prabhupada wanted these farms. We want farms not to help capitalism, but to actually do the Krishna's work. And there you eat your own vegetables, offer to Krishna best ingredients. Because this what we eat now is not the best ingredients. What did I read? Vegetable is not vegetarian. Because they put all kinds of things. I was once in America and there was this person who did organic gardening. And we thought, wow, organic gardening, bio, wonderful. And he told us, actually, if you would know what are we putting on the ground, I don't want to even mention, but some remnants from the slaughterhouse, they pulverize it and make it liquid and pour it. It's bio. And we're eating vegetable which is not vegetarian, in supposedly bio, and cost even extra money. It's just, then you offer to Krishna. Of course, Krishna accepted, because every Bhagavad Gita says every activity is covered by some fault. So Krishna accepts it, but still, we should come to, Prabhupada wanted devotees to come to this point, to actually live in the land and offer to Krishna and depend on Krishna, not depend on capitalists. Because if you depend on capitalists, the day will come that there will be no electricity. So what are you going to do in your apartment? And then the Lidl will be closed. What are you going to eat? Lidl is closed. What are you going to grow tomatoes in your room? Or how would you eat? No water. Imagine no water. You can go to the bathroom once without water, twice, 3 times, but after 5 times, what would you do? So we are so completely dependent on the mercy of the capitalists. So Prabhupada therefore wanted to have this simple living, high thinking, meaning it's simple living doesn't mean we just sit and count the stars and put a Dante Trina Kori. We put a straw in our mouth and we just, this is nice. Krishna's arrangement. Krishna's creation is wonderful. With the Trina in our mouth. No, actually, devotees are working. Of course, you have to grow this and you have to. But they know it's a simple living. They know this is for Krishna and you offer to Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya was very pleased when this devotee Kolavecha Sridhar offered him. What anybody knows? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was night before he took sannyas, they had a big meeting, and Kolavecha Sridhar offered him. Not? No. Pumpkin. His own pumpkin he was growing, And Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. Pumpkin. It's a simple thing, but he was growing it. And the recipe is, anybody knows how to make recipe? This was Lord Chaitanya like the pumpkin? With milk. You boil pumpkin in milk. This is how Lord Chaitanya liked this pumpkin. Anyways, this is the details. So that's all really I wanted to say about this. Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your detailed explanation about capitalism. And you mentioned that the whole idea is to make people dependent for the things they don't need.
Yes.
And we experienced it yesterday, Prabhu, like not just us, but while coming back from Harinam, whole Köln city was experiencing because the GPS was not working. Everyone was
disaster
and clueless and doesn't know where to go, what to do, Prabhu. They showed us our real status.
Disaster. No GPS, So this is our world, First thing, what is devotee? We have, as we call it, Vedic culture, but we also have devotee culture, ISKCON culture. When we go to some place first time, what is the first thing we ask? Internet. What is the internet connection? Do you have a password? First question. If there's no internet, we are like, oh my God, no internet. You click there, this is impossible. It's amazing. I was just telling this the other day. I'm a little bit older generation, and I grew up without internet, without no computers. We did not know that computers. You heard some computers, somewhere in America or something, and we actually could find a way in the world, amazingly enough. I traveled, we had a bus in America, and we traveled all over America without GPS, without internet. I didn't search where to find. I had this map, you open the map, and it just said, oh, let's go there, and then there's this road. And if you don't know, we stop the bus, and I go out and I ask, do you know where is this road? They say, oh, this is behind there. And somehow we traveled all over without GPS, believe it or not. Without internet, without places to find what is the price of we always knew where's the cheapest price of the gas. We always knew where to park. Everything was very easy. But somehow we think nowadays that that's what the younger generation, they cannot imagine the world without internet or without phones. How do you, without phone, you are not a person. So this all, they succeeded, they made it, and it will become worse and worse, as Prabhupada said. So this is the ultimately the goal is to just you or us to become total consumers, and we will just whatever they say it's wonderful. Oh, new Samsung Galaxy 34 or whatever the lady Oh, I'll buy. Look at this sensor has so many pixels. Oh, so we should depend on Krishna. Prabhupada wanted us to depend on Krishna, to depend on land, and to chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada says, save time and chant Hare Krishna. You see how much time you spend on the Get-8, on the phone or computer. All right, so we are reading now from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the activities of Sakshi Gopal. Jaganatera duela deki avishta haila. Dandavatkari preme nachita lagila. Jaganatera duela deki avishta haila. Dandavatkari preme nachite lagila. Ladies. Jaganatera of Lord Jagannath, Duela, the temple, Deki, seeing, Avishta, ecstatic, Haila, became, Dandavatkari, offering obeisances, Preme, in the ecstasy of love of God, Nachite, to dance, Lagila, began. Translation. After seeing the temple of Jagannath from a distant place, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately became ecstatic. After offering obeisances to the temple, he began to dance in the ecstasy of love of God. Purport. The word Duela refers to the temple where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated. The present temple of Jagannath Puri was constructed by King Ananga Bhima. Historians say this temple must have been constructed at least 2000 years ago. During the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the small buildings surrounding the original temple had not been constructed, nor was the high platform in front of the temple present during the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaganatera duela deki avishta haila, dandavatkari preme nachite lagila. After seeing the temple of Jagannath from a distant place, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately became ecstatic. After offering obeisance to the temple, he began to dance in the ecstasy of love of Godhead. So this is the Lord Chaitanya is actually, although he's the Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahanya, no different from Radha and Krishna, and he is no different from, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna, original Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya is a very, very unique personality, as we know. It is actually described in Lochan Das Thakur's book called Chaitanya Mangala, how as Lord Chaitanya came to be Lord Chaitanya. That said, he wanted to, taste the Radharani, wanted to, taste the nectar, how is she feeling for him, and he manifested this form. This is when Narada Muni came to visit Dwaraka, and he saw this his devotees, Rukmini and all other queens we know from Srimad Bhagavatam. And Narada Muni visited, and he saw 1008 queens, and Krishna was in each palace simultaneously. When Narada was shocked to see this, and each queen thought Krishna was sleeping in bed, in my house. And then in the morning, Krishna left, and then there was only one Krishna. This is amazing mystical power of Krishna. And then one day Rukmini was crying, and then Krishna asked her, what is the what is the problem? And Rukmini said, you can never understand what is the problem. Because you cannot understand what does it mean to love you, Rukmini said to Krishna. And she said, and then he said, well, he was thinking about it, and he said, actually it is true. I cannot, because Krishna said, I'm always, exchange with devotees, but I don't know what you feel. And Rukmini said, you will never understand. So Krishna said, I want to understand what is your love towards me. And then he said, Rukmini said, you will never understand what we women are feeling about you. Radharani, what kind of anguish she has to go to actually when she's having a relationship with you, what kind of pain and separation she has to undergo. So Lord Chaitanya said, okay, I will then unite this form, Radha and Krishna, and I will assume the sentiments of Srimati Radharani. And he manifested for the very first time in Dwarka, in the spiritual world, this form of Gauranga, golden Lord Chaitanya. And this was the first time in Lord Chaitanya, everyone was, wow, what a wonderful form of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya, when he came to appear in this world, the Lord Chaitanya was also known as, Prabhupada called it, Channa Avatar, means hidden avatar. Although he's open, he was walking on the streets, people could not know that he's Krishna himself. And so much so, the Lord Chaitanya, first 16 years, was playing like Nimai Pandit, a regular boy, very handsome boy, very unusual boy, very special, but still a boy. And nobody could recognize him, even devotees, even Advaita Acharya, who is actually, Krishna, also Vishnu, Tattva, he could not understand the Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya, or Krishna himself, this is a proof that Krishna reveals to people only when he wants to be revealed. You cannot force Krishna to reveal himself to you. This is not possible. We can chant, we can do this and that and this, and then we expect, now Krishna has to come. I did so much, and Krishna said, no, he's not coming. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, Narada Muni, when his mother was bitten by a snake, we were talking yesterday how easy it is to be bitten by a snake in India, especially in the countryside. And then he was a 5 years old boy, so he was thinking, what shall I do now? No mother, no any heart sphere to depend on. So he decided to just take sannyas. Of course, not official sannyas, but Paramahamsa left and has lived depending on Krishna. And traveling so many years and chanting, engaging in the process, meditation. And one day he was sitting under a tree. I'm not sure it's a pipal tree or banyan tree, one of the trees. Very sacred trees. He was sitting there, meditating on Krishna, and Krishna appeared to him. And Narada Muni was, at that time he was not Narada Muni, he was this previous incarnation. And he fainted and he was very ecstatic, and then Krishna disappeared. And then he was very sorry, So he said he was very trying to do the same meditation, Oh, I'll do it again. With the, as we call it, with the muscles. He wanted to muscle his way to the spiritual world. But Krishna did not show up. So he did the same meditation as he did when Krishna showed up, and nothing happened. And he was thinking, nothing happened. And then, nothing happened. And then Krishna spoke to him. Narada could just hear the voice. And he said, my dear Narada, or whatever his name was at that time, you have seen me in this life only once, and this would be to the rest of this life. You have to get more purified, but in the next life we'll be united, and you'll be my servant. So Narada understood. Okay, so it's a big anguish, a big separation, which is also purification on a subtle level. This separation from Krishna. But he understood, you cannot force Krishna to show himself to you. You cannot force, whatever, to have a darshan of, Lord Chaitanya or darshan of Nityananda. You cannot. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityananda appeared to Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, appeared to him in a dream. And he said, Krishnadas, go to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan, there you will achieve all things. And Krishna immediately said that he didn't even wait to, prepare some, some prasad. When we travel, we need some sandwiches to travel. Krishna just left, stood up and left. Because he saw Nityananda is instructing me, I'm going. So we cannot force Krishna to appear in front of us. When Krishna wants, he will appear. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in this verse, he also showing not only that he is God himself, that he is Svayam Bhagavan, that he is Krishna himself, but he also shows himself as a perfect acharya, Prabhupada says. Perfect acharya is a perfect teacher. The Prabhupada says he's showing A, B, C. He wrote this in the Nectar of, in the Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord Chaitanya is an acharya who is showing A, B, C. And A, B, C does not mean that he is on the level of A, B, C, but he's showing us the level of A, B, C. And this level A, B, C, Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. And Katva, Prabhupada explained, in Chaitanya Bhagavata there's a whole description how Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. And we heard the other week or 2 weeks ago that Nityananda broke his sannyas danda on 3 pieces and threw it in Ganga. So what do you need this for? You are not a sannyasi. Sannyasi is still considered a member of the 4 varnas, 4 ashramas in the material society. Is still considered a member of the society, material society. He says you are beyond this. You are actually God himself. So Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and performed all these duties, as we say, just to give us example how to be a devotee. So here also Lord Chaitanya shows how to be a devotee, ecstatic devotee. So he was walking toward Jagannath Puri, and we know he walked alone because there was some disturbances. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, I'm walking alone, don't follow me, please don't follow me. So he went alone, and when he saw, from a distance, he saw the temple of Puri. So how do you see the temple from a distance? You see chakra. On the very top of the temple of Jagannath is a chakra with this flag, this red long flag. Sometimes the wind wraps it around. But flag. And Lord Chaitanya saw this. And when he saw the chakra, he, as they say here, he became ecstatic. Immediately became ecstatic, Lord Chaitanya. Why did he become ecstatic? Because he knows that chakra represents Krishna. Chakra is actually also a devotee of Krishna. And in this temple is the Lord of his heart, Krishna. So when he saw the temple of Jagannath, he didn't think like, oh, it's a temple, it's building. No, he immediately remembered Krishna. In the Nectar Devotion, it is described that there's a certain things which reminds us of Krishna. They're actually also not different from Krishna, udipanas. When we see peacock feather, we think about Krishna. When we see a cloud, dark cloud, it's full of rain, rainy cloud, this is the color of Krishna. And we see in instances, devotees, they saw a peacock feather, Pundarik Vidanidhi, and he immediately made a whole mess, ecstasy, he fell into ecstasy and so on. So, in the one devotee, this is a book by Bhakti, he's calling this Bhakti Vikaswami, called Vamsidas Babaji. He explains that this Babaji always saw Krishna everywhere. And once they were going to a railroad, and then the train was coming, and that time in India there this steam train, this and he said, oh, this Agasura is coming, watch out. He saw Agasura is coming. he was afraid. And he was walking once also, and he saw this wire, the electric wire, in the fields there. And he said, is this line going to Govardhan? He wanted to go, he was thinking about Govardhan. So he saw Krishna everywhere. So this is, devotees find these things which are reminding them of Krishna. Especially if you see the temple, it's definitely Krishna is living in this temple. There's nobody else lives in the temple. So when we come to the temple, we see the windows, we think, oh, it's Krishna lives there. And so on and so forth. So Lord Chaitanya shows us a perfect example. He became ecstatic. We may not become ecstatic, but at least we should think favorably, oh, this is a nice Krishna's temple, I'm happy to enter there. If we're ecstatic, that's even better. But this is Lord Chaitanya's, he showed the highest emotion. What did he do? First thing, offering obeisance to the temple. So Lord Chaitanya offered obeisances to the temple. And meaning he, from a very distance, he offered obeisance to the temple. Because ultimately, temple is not different from Krishna. All the ingredients in temple are not different from Krishna. This is not different from Krishna. Because it's used in Krishna's service. And everything which is used in Krishna's service is sacred. Toilets which are used in Krishna's service are sacred, therefore should be kept clean, nicely smelling, because they're Krishna's toilets. And once there was a story when devotees were having kirtan, and after kirtan, devotees have to, clean up the area so we can have a lecture, whatever. So there was a harmonium in the middle of the room, and devotee was holding, how devotees something. You take this, kissing the pillows, and then you want to move harmonium. So he was with his foot, pushing harmonium to the side. And Prabhupada says, do not do this with the foot, because this harmonium is no different from Balaram. Why? Because Balaram all this expansion is expansion of Balaram in the service of Krishna. Expansion of Shesha. So all these things, harmonium, mridanga, there's a brand of mridanga called Balaram in America. They make it. So everything is just actually expansion of Krishna or Balaram. So Lord Chaitanya immediately offered obeisance to the temple, which also shows Lord Chaitanya humility. As I said this one story many times, I was once in one temple, and the deities were closed because the deities are sleeping at a certain time. At noon, they have the arati, they take prasadam, and they sleep a little bit. And one Indian man came in, and the curtains were closed, and he came straight to the front of the curtains. He said, "Open the altar, I want to see the Krishna." So I said, well, it doesn't work that way, I don't mind opening, but Krishna is sleeping right now. And also it doesn't work that way. So you see, Lord Chaitanya was actually offering obeisance from a very distance. And also, you can, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Raghunath Das Goswami visited Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda for the first time in Panihati Chidadawi festival. When he saw Lord Nityananda, he offered obeisance from way distance. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm Raghunath, Here I am, I'm offering obeisance to you, I am offering obeisance." No, he was offering obeisance from very distance as a sign of humility. And Lord Nityananda said, "Who is this person there offering obeisances?" Although, of course, Nityananda, he knows everything. And the devotee said, "Raghunath, this is Raghunath. And he said, "Raghunath, come here." And Raghunath, no, he didn't want to come. He was very shy and very humble. And Raghunath said, "No, I'm happy here. I'm offering obeisance from a distance. I'm fine here." And Lord Nityananda said, "Come here when I'm telling you." I'm sorry, Nityananda. Nityananda can be a little bit persuasive sometimes. And Raghunath did not want to come. So Lord Nityananda ran and caught Raghunath and put a foot on his head. So now you're a thief, I caught you now. It's the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. So the point is that the humility pays off in spiritual life. There's no harm being humble in spiritual life. Because Lord Chaitanya appreciates, Krishna appreciates, Nityananda appreciates. So why not being humble? it's difficult to be humble in this world, because if you're humble, then people will trample over you. Humility is not a welcome quality in this this material world. Nobody in the university tells you to be humble. Nobody. When I applied some years ago for the in university, and then they told me to write a motivation letter. You had to write motivation letter. Motivation letter. So I wrote a motivation letter, and I sent it to this one devotee to edit it, because he was good. So he looked at it and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "This is a terrible letter." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're too humble. This is not good." Because I thought, if it's possible, I use this word, if it's possible, although I am not qualified, I use it because this is what I learned in devotee life. And they said, no, you cannot say this. You have to say, you are the best. You are the best man for this. Somehow or other, you are humble, so you don't want to say it, but you are very the best for this. I was like, okay. So this is the model. Can you imagine you go to the job interview? You're working, you student. Still student. Imagine if you get your BA, whatever, MA, and then you go to job interview, and you say, "I'm not qualified. I'm not worthy. I'm not qualified." They say, "Okay, there's the one who is qualified." You have to say, "I'm the best person for this job." What are your weaknesses? My weakness is that I'm working too much. Isn't it? My weakness is I don't know. I'm exhausting myself with so much work. This is my really big weakness. I don't know. So it's horrible. This is the society. You are not allowed to be humble. So, but here in the spiritual life, at least we can be humble. We should be humble, because Lord Chaitanya will not accept us if you're not humble. He will say, "Okay, you're still puffed up. You need some purification," and He will wait this life or next life to you can get a little more humble, so He can actually try working with you or on you. Because we see that if you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is no such a person as associates of Lord Chaitanya who is puffed up. There is no such a thing. Puffed up are like people who are not devotees. Ramachandra Puri, he was a puffed up person, but he was not a devotee. He found fault in Lord Chaitanya. Aha! I heard that your disciples, they're eating too much, and now I've seen it with my own eyes. Then he came to the house of Lord Chaitanya and he saw ants. Aha, ants. Ants means sugar. You are sannyasi, you're eating sugar. He started criticizing Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya, what did Lord Chaitanya do? He said, "Who are you? You are puffed up, sannyasi." Lord Chaitanya said, "Okay, you are right, I'm actually overeating." And he's cut down on eating. And all the devotees were so unhappy. Imagine you have all these pure devotees unhappy with you as a Ramachandra Puri. So no good can come out of this. And then Ramachandra Puri left. As soon as Ramachandra Puri left, Lord Chaitanya resumed his own huge eating plates and things like this. So he doesn't, and then he did not get mercy. Ramachandra Puri, although associated with Lord Chaitanya, did not get mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So it's no harm to be humble. And then here, the last, after offering obeisance to the temple, he began to dance in the ecstasy of love of Godhead. So meaning that the Krishna consciousness is natural inner force which you cannot force yourself. We become, like today we danced a little extra in kirtan, we had a little extra kirtan because somehow I became ecstatic. It's not like we push now, okay, now we'll have a 4 minutes extra kirtan, We just kind of sang until naturally came to an end, So this is the, Krishna consciousness is a very natural thing. Sometimes we sing for hours. I was telling how at the opening of the installation of Panchatattva deities 2004, we were waiting in front of the temple for hours for the trucks to arrive from South India, bringing Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Srivas, Gadadhar, these huge deities. So all these trucks were arriving, and we were all chanting, Hare Krishna, to the trucks. And truck drivers would. So anyway, so then they had these big cranes taking all that, because there's tons, I don't know how many tons each deity. So then they took all these deities and they made this somehow rolling, somehow to bring them to the altar. So they brought, and all the while, so many devotees chanting. And then they did not show the deities, there was a secret. So we were all like waiting every day, waiting for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, a week. I don't remember, 4 or 5 days. And then they said night before the Gaur Punim, because Gaur Punim is supposed to be the first arati. Night before Gaur Punim, they will show the deities, just to show. Nothing, no anything. And everybody was, the temple was full. I was waiting for hours, at least 10, 12 hours, because I don't want to miss the spot, because so many devotees. We were all standing there chanting, Karva's Panchatattva going to open. And then I think it was evening time, and it's supposed to be 6:30 arati, not opening. 6:10, not opening. 6:30, not opening. We were like, oh man, 6:40, not opening. And then somebody opens a little bit, they go inside, pujaris, and we're like, oh man. And then around 7:30 or something, very late, just opened the deities. That was super, super ecstatic. The devotees were screaming, thousands and thousands of devotees, and seeing Panchatattva. And they were not dressed, they were just had a cloth wrapped around them, white cloth. There was no, I think no mukut, nothing, just white cloth. Just like a pre-darshan, you can say. And at that night, we were so ecstatic, me and one devotee, we could not sleep. We tried, we lay down, we just thinking about Lord Chaitanya. I said, let's go to the 24-hour kirtan. We just sat there all night until Mangalarti. We just sat there. And then Mangalarti, we also could not sleep because we just chanted Mangalarti. So we stay up next, I think, 2 days without sleeping. And not like now when I try to not sleep. Last night I went to bed at 12:30, and today I could not get up from Mangalarti. So, but when Krishna from inside gives you inspiration, it just happens naturally. They said, dance in the ecstasy of love of God. So we'll dance in the ecstasy when we are surcharged with Krishna. So, this is all I wanted to say about this verse. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So, if you would like to ask something or say something or not say something. Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Benoya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Are these ecstatic feelings, is this the Ladini Shakti? Comes this from the Ladini Shakti?
Yes, this is from the spiritual energy. This is not material. This is not Maya Shakti.
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, I'm not prepared, but I have the good fortune of your association this morning. Since I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I have one question. There's one purport. I mean, in the Adivila, I don't have the exact words. Where Prabhupada explains, there is a Ladini Shakti which ausgehen from Krishna, and there is a Ladini Shakti which comes from the Jiva, and only from this Ladini Shakti which comes from Krishna we can have these blissful feelings,
Yes.
devotional service, and not from this which comes from the Jiva. I would like to understand.
I can take a look.
Ladini Shakti which comes from the Jiva.
I can take a look at the verse, so yeah, I can maybe later,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it's better.
I can take a look. Yeah. Yes.
Prabhuji, thank you for really, really wonderful transcendental class. Prabhuji. Here, most of us are either students or we are already working or on the verge of the transition. So you were mentioning regarding, because the training that we receive within the devotees world is that one should feel like absolutely fallen conditioned soul, and you mentioned, Prabhu, when we go out, so one has to like sell himself as the best. Is this the transition that's required for switching these roles from suddenly or every day, we can say? Like from morning we are in devotional mood, but afternoon time we have to be in that popular role, we can say.
Yes.
How do we balance this?
This is the challenge for the devotees in Kali Yuga. Like, because this is the beginning of our movement, ISKCON is just at the beginning stages. It's a diapers stages, You know diapers? The child wearing these diapers. So we are the children, like a child who is wearing diapers. If you read the history of Christianity in the very early days, in Roman kingdom, Christians were thrown to the lions by the Romans. So we are doing much better. Nobody's throwing us to the lions. Nobody said, "You Hare Krishna, go to the lion." And everybody's watching and applauding. Oh, the Hare Krishna is eaten by lions. No, but we have our own challenges, and this is our challenge. Our challenge is to stay Krishna conscious in this material world, in this world outside. This is our challenge. And if later on, in next 500 years, or 700 years, or 1,000 years, when Krishna consciousness becomes prominent, then we will have jobs, which are actually Krishna conscious jobs. I don't know what, but maybe you'll work in a factory which produces tomatoes, and whatever you do business, or you create temples. Architect creates temples for Krishna, and they will earn money. And then everybody will chant, as Prabhupada wanted to. He said all the bureaucrats, all the government office, they should once a day take half an hour break for kirtan. So if you are the politician, then half an hour a day. Okay, now is the time 12:30. Okay, everybody's saying Hare Krishna, half an hour, and then go back to work. Until this time happens, and you can see it will happen in India, especially. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. This devotees will have it much easier. Like you are having much easier than it was 30 years ago or 50 years ago. Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj tells us all this story. They get arrested on a regular basis. Regular basis they get arrested. For no reason, because they're Hare Krishnas. So now nobody's arresting us. We go on Harinam and police don't care. Nobody cares. We had the Harinams 3 times a week. Everybody was forbidden to have Harinams. And we had the Harinams, and if you remember, and the police was guarding us. Remember? Then the Ordnungsamt came and they wanted to kick us out. The police said, "Hey, leave them alone." So the times are changing. But we all have our challenges. Your challenge is to, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You know this? You're young. There's a book, anybody knows Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde? Yeah, nice. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is a book about the doctor who was, during the day he's a doctor, at night, when the moon comes out, he became a vampire, or some kind of wolf vampire, or whatever. Warlock. And then he has these 2 natures, and he was a very nice man during the day, but at evening he becomes this. So this is what we do. We are Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, Hare Krishna, so Hare, then we have to work, and you have always signing important things and do things which are not, it's materialistic, and you have to act as materialist. But this is your challenge. And when you are 50, 60 years old, then you said, okay, my kids are big enough. I have done 60 years of work, whatever, 40 years of working, or whatever. I have no more duties except chanting Hare Krishna. So I should just chant Hare Krishna, whether you take Vanaprastha or whether you stay at home. But just after 60, it's enough. Enough is enough. And then you just chant and read. So this is the challenge. We all have challenges. All challenges. But again, it's much, much easier nowadays, because here you can come to the temple, you can go on internet and listen to lecture. You can do anything, which before was very, very difficult. So we are in one sense lucky, and in the other sense is a challenge that we have to, each devotee himself or herself, have to figure out for ourselves, how much do I want to participate in Krishna consciousness? Because nobody is going to come to your home, your apartment, and tells you, wake up, it's 4 o'clock, it's Mangal Artik time. Anybody comes to your home? Nobody. But in temple you kind of have to, everybody's waking up and everybody's coming for a lecture. You have to. It's kind of forced. We are forced to be Krishna conscious. So this is a very nice thing. Therefore, to live in a temple is very favorable. And therefore, devotees like you come and spend weekend here or whatever time is there, and then you say, oh, it's nice, I want to spend more time, or whenever you are free, 3 days you spend, or festivals but in your own home, in your own environment is a challenge for you. And therefore, devotees need to be trained first. If you're not trained, you will not know how to be Krishna conscious in your home. Because how would you know what to do, what is proper? And therefore, people who are trained to be brahmacharis are very much easier for them to be grihastas. If you're a few years trained as brahmachari, to be grihastas, you're trained. You know what to do, how to do it. And you know yourself. Mangalarti is a good thing. Whatever time you wake up and whatever time you chant and like this. It's a challenge, which we have to, all of us, we have challenges. And this is your particular challenge. Okay, I thank you very much. A little bit late today, but Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gauranga. By the way, I printed